Get demonetized probably. Oh, I'm not monetized anyway. Just kidding, guys. I'll be on in a second. I'm just listening to the music. I told you I always listen to music before we start. I think that's a good idea, daylight disinfectant. I'm not 3 minutes late. Yeah, you guys are supposed to arrive at 5:33 sharp, but for me, it's whatever works. Sound really full of myself. Anyways, you guys, welcome. Prissy's here, T-Rex is here, Daylight's here, Mayor's here, Grim's here. Grim, thank you for that link today. I'm going to be checking out that court in a little bit. Well, I looked at a little bit, but shockingly, I had some plans for tonight. Dana's here. Who else is here? Beverly Bradford, Vicky Pavlis, Courtney, RLS 0523, Becca. Um, who else was here? I like to go all the way to the back or the start. Very cherry. Thank you, my friend. Lisa B. Dixie cups on a string are not working too well tonight. Okay, that reminds me of a clip that I saw where this guy was trying to collect a baseball from a baseball game. I guess it had fallen or it had been thrown and then it landed on top of some sort of dugout structure that was there, and it literally looked like cups on a string, but he he managed to like somehow get the frickin' thing going all the way down and picked up the baseball with just the cup on a string. It was crazy. Anyways, okay. Um, Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. Are we gonna go 10 hours? I don't know, T-Rex. We'll see. I hear footsteps above me. Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. Uh, Everything goes in Ann Arbor, very cherry. That sounds like a Stepford Wives like motto in life. Like everything goes in Ann Arbor and when we're at the Hamptons. Those are the 2 times that just life flows, you know? Colin's here. Colin, tell me how to say your name. Phonetically write it for me. Everybody should do that. If I ever say your name wrong, you should phonetically spell it for me because that's how I learn. Um, KH is here. Hey, bitch. Beach. Uh, Nana wants her pudding. Yeah, she does want her pudding. I made a delicious dinner tonight for my daughter. You should see it. It's on the Discord. I did post pictures of it. My sushi last night, Mayor. Thank you for asking. Okay. I say Vicky's right. Perfect. Prissy, thank you. Pricey. Oh, pricey. Oh, I'd like that, pricey. Oh, now it's pricey. Yeah. Um, I posted on the Discord. I'm just looking on my phone to make sure. Because sometimes I like almost post things and then I forget or I'm doing other things. It's similar to how you guys might have clocked in for your shift today, but you might have forgotten to hit the like button. And that's okay. I'm reminding you now. And you can do it now, and it's okay. There's no negative repercussions at this point. But this is why I check. When I say, oh, I posted that, I'm like, you better go check and make sure you posted that. Okay. Okay. I posted some music. Yes. Dinner table pics. Yes, I did. Okay, look. Look, first of all, that looks delicious. That looks like a fucking food. I don't know. What do you call those? What do you call them? Advertisements? Food porn? Like somebody knows what they're doing? It looks better on camera than it does on the phone. It's got that like sort of mystique appeal. Um, okay, we're gonna start off tonight talking about cheese a little bit. Uh, that's my classic, by the way, the meal that is. You guys have seen me make burgers exactly like that probably 30 times on this channel. Ooh, just hit the microphone. I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever done that. Um, let's talk about cheese though. You see the cheese in this picture? You see the cheese? This is cheese, right? Like that's cheese that's sort of coming there. Okay. Okay, also, RLS. Everybody, I want to make an announcement about Streamlabs. Streamlabs cares more about you than maybe me. No, no, I'm joking. I care more. Or maybe other casinos. But there is a timeout period in between gambles. Okay. So you can gamble, you can slots, you can, what's the other one? Heist. You can do a heist, but you can't, like, you can't, I guess it's to prevent spam, which you know I don't really care about. Hi, Bruce Davis. Thank you for your comment on the video the other day. I appreciate that. Made my day. Daylight Disinfectant as well. Thank you for your comment. Um, I guess what I'm saying is sometimes it's not ignoring you, it's like pacing you. It's sort of like the bartender that like hears your order, but they wait and they give you a water first and then they come and give you your order. Okay? That's sort of just so you know. I've turned I literally have though, and I'm honey pea on this. Uh, y'all know I pay for Streamlabs. Like it's a bill. It's one of my bills. Okay? Sometimes that gets me. I'm like, I have a bill like that. But so I pay for that and then so I pay attention to it usually. That's not true. Actually that okay. 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 Everybody take your meds. I have taken my meds, but we need to take some meds. Y'all probably need to take some meds. I need some paper. Oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I was prepared for this. Okay, good. I'm gonna write something down quick. So, and see, I can't remember. So close. So close. You know, if I had the paper first, maybe if I take off my glasses, I'll remember. No, can't. If I went back in the chat, I usually remember because something has like spurred me to do something. Spam in the chat. Oh, Streamlabs. Okay, well, let's start there. Streamlabs. Oh, I pay for Streamlabs. And so I actively sort of monitor that. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. I pay for Streamlabs. I actively monitor that, aka, no, I don't. You're a fucking liar. Because this leads right into the story about Spotify. Okay? So Spotify is something that I used for many years. You guys know I'm Canadian. Today is not the day I'm not going to mention I'm Canadian. That's tomorrow. But today I'm Canadian. And but I'm a sneaky Canadian. So I signed up for Spotify somehow, some way. Like this sounds so weird. About like during the pandemic, I got buckled down and I started like looking at my no, it's not the marijuana. It is a little marijuana, but it's some of it. But I got buckled down and I started looking at my bills and I was like, oh wow, Jesus Christ. Spent a lot of money. So I noticed that there was two fucking Spotify charges. And I was like, that bitch. That fucking bitch. Like, why is she charging me 2 times? So I called them up. I did not call. That's a lie. I messaged them on their live chat feature. And they responded immediately, which, first of all, love. And we had a lovely conversation. And in the end of that conversation, it turns out I had been paying for Spotify twice a month for 3 years. Once on the Canadian site and once on the American site. And I was baffled. I was like, really? Okay. Um, and before I even said anything, the person I was speaking with was like, I've already started processing your refund. I was like, my what? She's like, yeah, I shit you not. They sent me $400 from Spotify. I was like, oh God, I need to pay more attention to my bank account. Oh, I felt so dumb, but also like so thankful to them as a company for just doing the right thing. She literally was like, oh, I can see what happened. You almost signed up the same time. And I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, you have an American email address or whatever you use for the Spotify.com, and then you have Spotify.ca. I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, well, absolutely, we'll give you this back. Like, I'm not kidding you. I was like, first of all, already floored. Second of all, the next day I'm like, Spotify rocks. Okay, everybody should get Spotify. Um, that has not been a recent thing. I wish it was. It was not. This was about a year ago. Um, it did not spur me to look at my bank account that much closer. I did a little bit, but not that much. Sometimes I look at those things like savings plans. Like when I don't pay my taxes, but I've already paid my taxes, so really I just don't file my taxes. That's like a savings plan. If I filed that shit in April, I would have spent that money already. But if I file it now, it's like the government just held on to it for me for a little while. Um, Spotify, that was 1,000% amazing customer service to me. I mean, I've dealt with customer services from a million companies, a lot of US companies, quote unquote US companies. They're I'll say quote unquote. They're popular in the US. Okay. But I've first for example, let's see. Let's see. The bruises or the weird marks on my wrists that I have, those are from my Fitbits. I've had like 6 Fitbits. Okay. They literally burn me chemically and I still wear it. Okay. Um, I remember my Fitbit. I fucking have bought so many Fitbits. Here we go. Hold on. Mine's been charging. Let me grab it. So this bitch, which I need to get the proper, like a new, I usually use a magnetic, uh, like band for it, but I need to buy a new one. Anyways, this bitch is the Fitbit 5. Okay, first of all, let's just talk about something. That just only charged at 9%. That was unacceptable. We're going to put it on anyways. But over the years, number of Fitbits have chemically burned me, and yet I still go running back. And one time my Fitbit literally broke during the traditional warranty period. Like there was no question about it. It was a fucking broken Fitbit. And I called, again, actually messaged, and I spoke with a lady, and she got me a new Fitbit, which was great. I sent uh they sent me the new one and it broke within like a week and a half. And I messaged them back and I was like, "Hey, we got a problem." And they're like, "Sorry, your new one's not under warranty." And I was like, what? It's a week old. What do you mean it's not under warranty? They're like, no, it's not under warranty. Doesn't count. Doesn't work. And I was just like, I don't think you understand. I sell your product a lot just by wearing it. I constantly talk about it. I have it on. I go to the bar. I dance with it. I'm telling people, let's get my heart rate up. Like, I'm your fucking ambassador, okay? And I pay money for this product. It's only been with me for a week. It needs to work. If you had sent this to a new customer, not in a warranty, you would have to value that, or like, what's the word? You would have to honor that warranty. And they fought with me on it. And for 2 years, thank you, KLF. Exactly. Honor, but with a U. Thank you. For 2 years, I went off Fitbit. I was like, you don't understand. I love your product. I wear it to the point of it burning me chemically. I still wear it. Anyways. And I do jump around like that and the heart rate goes up, and it's actually my best sort of on the dance floor pickup line. Like, how high can you get my heart rate? Like right now, we're at 107. That's pretty low. Well, that's me. Okay, guys, clock in or caulk in for your shift. I've been ranting now. We should do a rant day where I just rant because I got a lot. Anyways, so even still, after they hurt me like that, after they just slapped me down, they wouldn't give me anything. They were just upset with me. But I don't have an iPhone, Erica. KH, let's do it. I'll meet up with you in Orlando for sure. I've already looked up. T-Rex is coming a little bit later and he's going to be there too. Shit, seriously. What did we find? T-Rex, we found a taco place we got to go to. We found a strip club that I want to go to. And then we found, no, we have not found a mechanical bull place yet. We want to, but we have found a karaoke place and we will do a live stream. Maybe I'll do it on the old channel. So, because like, who the fuck cares? And we'll just play the fucking real songs. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for Orlando. I have been planning like an adult. Give you the old channel. The old channel is actually linked on the link tree above. It's called KCC 1.0. And then there was KCC 2.0. And Grim, here's the thing. They didn't even give me stripper Spotify money. I probably would have been absolutely satisfied. Here's the thing. And I don't want to tell this to companies because I appreciate the customer service that Spotify gave me. But KH, we can make it a 5-minute. I'm gonna rent a fucking karaoke room so we can do whatever we want. But I would have been absolutely satisfied if Spotify had said, wow, you fucked up, bitch. Are you dumb? You haven't been checking your bank accounts for 3 years? Like, seriously, that's what I was saying to myself. I'm like, God, you're such a stupid idiot. You never look at the money. You only look at how much is left. You don't look at what was spent. Well, of course not. Why would I look at what's spent? That would be fucking depressing. Right. And remember, this was like a year ago. So, but they didn't give me just credit, which I probably would have been happy with. They could have said, we appreciate that you made a mistake, but we're going to go ahead and give you $200 credit on your Spotify.ca account. First of all, that would have been like $140 or $50 for them. And perfect. Also, people in the chat, when you're talking about weed and milligrams, you need to understand something. People that do high dose um, THC every day, I could easily take 2,000, 3,000 milligrams of THC a day and not you, and I would be live and I would be fine. You wouldn't even know it. But that doesn't mean that you should. And Melanie knows that she has to be responsible with that. It's not something to be trifled with, especially if you've never done it before. But if you've done it for a long time, the amounts that you're going to need are going to get higher and higher as you go. We can constitute this as the first Weed Wednesday. And that's no shame for Melanie. I've told you guys I've worked at a dispensary for a long time. I managed a dispensary. Uh, I understand the intricacies of people metabolizing marijuana, and I've spoken out about what I think the difficulties in the legal system are with that. You know, it's not like alcohol. It is not as cut and dry as your BAC is this, because marijuana does not work like that. And so, unfortunately, um, there's been a lot of scare tactics and stuff used against the marijuana industry that are in fact, more appropriate towards the alcohol industry. Okay. Um, I'll tell you the truth. It's very, very unlikely that even most of the court cases, or most of, I'm thinking of the wild chases that we watch, or the wild court case, all the stuff that we watch. The people doing that, the likelihood of them being 1,000% just on marijuana is so low. And I'm not just pro marijuana. I understand there are negative effects with that. I've told you guys this before. I'm not about getting people that are new to the drug to smoke ever. I don't want people to smoke. I'm really about helping people reduce their reliance upon painkillers and their reliance upon opiates, their reliance upon other things, with something that is very much less harmful. But um, even my own government, my own Canadian government, fucked it up. I live in British Columbia, one of the best places in the world, known for the best weed in the world, BC Bud. And yet the government came in, and because the people that are in charge of the government, they don't smoke weed for the most part. It's just the way it is. Or if they do, they don't do it openly. Um, it's okay for them to drink openly, no problem. That's just a-okay. But but if you were to smoke weed openly as a government worker, you're not going to get a good reception. And um, I remember when marijuana was first legalized here, I applied for a job as a manager at a government store, and my experience counted against. Working for an illegal dispensary didn't really look very good on the resume. And I get that, but I also understand like the value that I was able to give comparatively to somebody who fucking went through the government training course online. Oh wow. You so know your shit. Good job. Not. And again, all the government here had to do was say marijuana is akin to wine. If you own a winery, you can own a fucking grow. And like just the same way, right? Just follow up with it. And the natural capitalist market would absolutely take care of the unscrupulous and horrible people out there that are bad at selling products. They would. The problem is what the government is required, at least in British Columbia where I live, is that they are the middleman for everything, which means if you grow marijuana, you are forbidden from selling marijuana as well as a company. So there's no sort of farm to table, if you will. And what that means is you really eliminated all of the small local growers that do a really good job at it. Those people weren't necessarily funding huge, conglomerates, but they were creating really, really good weed. Those people, to grow weed in Canada right now, you'd have to pay at least $500,000 to set up a legal grow. And it's not that good. Lisa, that's interesting to me. Lisa's just written that I can't take the smell of weed. Edibles opened a whole new world for you. So the smell of weed tends to reflect the terpenes that are included in marijuana. And terpenes are what give strains their effect, the positive and the negative. And so, but THC has its own effect. Okay. It's not giggly. It's not hungry. It's not stoned in a natural sense. THC is completely different. And so, oftentimes nowadays, especially because extraction methods have gotten so much better, um, edibles that you have may be infused with a THCA product or a THC specific product as opposed to a terpene infused product. Because what happens is when you do the collection method of the weed to make it into oil or distillate to put into edibles, the byproduct of that is the terpenes that come in the marijuana. It's just a natural byproduct of how they bring the oil out. And back in the day, I've told you guys, I've spent over $50 per a 0.25 a milliliter. That's one droplet of liquid, basically. It's nothing. Over $50 for that. And that's because real marijuana terpenes are extremely hard to actually ascertain and get from somebody. If you were ever using a marijuana product and it's got a very fruity flavor, a very fruity name, or it's got a base of distillate, the first question you should ask at your dispensary or wherever you're getting that is, are there food grade terpenes in this or is it marijuana grade terpenes? And if they don't know, the answer is food. Okay. And so food grade terpenes have been approved by the FDA and by Health Canada for ingestion, but not inhalation. But they're using this workaround. And so if you find a product that's like super mango or super blueberry or anything like that, and you can taste it, like really taste it, and you can't taste any weed alongside, I almost guarantee you that's a food grade terpene that you're using. And that is never something I would recommend because that has not been studied long term in people's lungs. Marijuana, on the other hand, has been studied very long term in people's lungs, both smoking and vaping. And it's not as negative of an effect as, let's say, tobacco. But that's, I think, oh, and so Lisa said this. The hard part for you was not eating the whole bag of peanut butter bombs. Those things were very tasty. Agree 1,000%. So I've also pitched a product where what you sell is, let's say, 20 milligrams or 25 milligrams of peanut butter bombs, but you sell a whole bag, right? And so let's say the dosed ones are packaged a little bit differently at the top, but there's undosed ones that are sold with it. I think that would be brilliant because, of course, when you're stoned or when you're having a good time, you want to eat the rest of them. And so and if you don't know or you're not used to have to resist that, what you could go, T-Rex, we don't talk about it like newbies. I would say 5 milligrams is for newbies. 25 is still high. But my whole point is, let's say you sell a package with 25 milligrams in it, but you actually have a bunch of candy that is not dosed that you can eat. Duh. That's what you should be selling people. Not just dosed candy, but half of it dosed or a quarter of it dosed, and then the rest of it munchable so that you can eat it without worrying about it. Anyways, yeah, we don't, T-Rex, don't you dare. And remember, you guys, I've done literally thousands and like, oh my God. I've gotten myself so stoned that I can't move. I've told you the story where I ate all of the edibles at night while I was sleeping. I ate a bag of edibles and not a bag from a store. Let's say that. Okay. And I woke up the next day. I literally went like this. I woke up, I tried to walk, and I fell forward. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And from amongst my body, I felt this crunching of sugar. And I realized, and I do sleep eat, so this is what happens. But I literally realized, I was like, oh my God, I fucking ate a whole bag of edibles. And I just went right back to it. I know, Lisa, and I would have told you to wait till the next night, but regardless. Okay. Let's start watching some court. We have some court to watch tonight. I've been talking for 30 minutes. Regardless. We have some court to watch tonight, but we also have some exceptionally fun new topics to discuss, and I'm really hoping that we have a diverse group of people tonight who can tell me what the situation is like where they live. So, we're going to start with no, I'm not leaving anywhere, T-Rex. I'm just getting started with court because we literally have been going for 32 minutes. So, we're going to go with live scene, not me big. Also, if anybody is ever in the position where they have greened out, they've taken too much marijuana, they don't feel good about it, or they're with somebody else that doesn't feel good about it, here is the magic words to help that problem. Okay? First things first, you need to be absolutely authoritative. I know what will help you. I have a solution to the problem. It's only going to take 10 minutes to work. All you have to do is trust me. You go and you get pepper and you get orange juice and a bottle of water. Okay? You come back drinking orange juice first, sniffing the pepper, and then drinking water, alternating with orange juice, plus your calm presence. The person will be fine. Okay? Um, again, if you're fucked up too, it's not gonna work. If you're like, oh my God, man, I'm fucked up too. What's gonna happen? We're all gonna die. You're probably gonna call the cops and be an idiot. But if you're the sober person amongst them, you just take control like the babies. Everybody's going to sit down. We're all going to have a drink of orange juice. Then we are all going to sniff pepper. Then we are all going to sit and be quiet for a minute. Then we're all going to feel better. Okay? Also, CBD will negate THC psychoactive effects. So if you have access to CBD, sublingually would be the best. Go for that. But subliminally, the OJ and the pepper works perfect.
I don't know how we do it.
Females, y'all gonna.
Ma'am, I need for you to move on the other side.
Okay, good morning, sir. Can you state your full name for me to confirm? Okay, Mr. Awad, your attorney, Mr. Farnsworth, is on with us, so I'm going to direct questions to him at this point. The charge here is arson in the first degree. And Mr. Farnsworth, is there anything that you want to tell me about bond?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Airwatt's 27 years old. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. He's lived in Georgia for a period from 2013 to 2018 in the Valdosta area. He moved back here in December of 2022. He's been residing at 394 Summer Hill Circle in Stockbridge since that time. This is a case involving a restaurant in which there was a fire. My client had cooperated with all the investigations and in fact was arrested yesterday when he showed up at the police station for an interview regarding this incident. He voluntarily came there. They decided to take out a warrant and he obviously surrendered and turned himself in. He has a father here in Valdosta. He's a graduate from high school. He graduated in Chicago. He's recently married. His wife is in the process of coming here from Palestine. No prior arrest of any kind, Judge, that I'm aware of. Since the fire incident, he's been helping his dad, who runs a restaurant called Hip Hop Fish and Chicken in Valdosta.
Hip Hop Fish and Chicken? What the fuck? Also, Larry, could you take over for a minute, or Larry's stand-in?
so he is employed as well. We don't believe that he is a flight risk, a risk of committing a felony, obviously not a risk of intimidating any of the investigators in the process, and nor given this property crime a danger to the community. Given all those factors and the fact that you are able to set bond in this case, we would ask that you set a bond, a reasonable bond. We would ask for something in the neighborhood of $20,000.
Okay. And I think that's reasonable. So we'll do a bond of 20,000 on the charge. We'll
MB. Sorry, just got to the house with some hip hop fish and chicken. I'm gonna have to pull that menu up. Let's pull up the menu of that hip hop fish and chicken here while we keep watching.
put a do not return to location. It's my understanding this was a rented space.
Yes, Judge.
Is that correct? Okay, so we'll put a condition, do not return to 5214 Highway 85 in Forest Park.
Donna, how are you? How did your last surgery go? Donna had a surgery recently, and I'm hoping that she's doing well. Lisa, you can't eat? I won't look at it. I can tell hip hop chicken because it has the back beat beak rhythm. Oh, please let it be a dispensary. I'd love that.
The preliminary hearing will be scheduled for October the 2nd, unless do you have any legal conflicts for that date?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right. October the 2nd at 8:30
Amen.
a.m. And does that take care of everything this morning?
Yes, it does. That concludes my business. Thank you so much, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
And thank you, Mr. Awad. Okay. Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Caristo, gonna go check it out for us? Y'all can guess on his crime if you want. Go ahead and put your guess in. I'm gonna go with a DV. In my opinion, allegedly.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Mr. Awad, is that still you there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We finished with your case. So deputies, I'm ready to take the females if that's who you got up next.
Never mind. I didn't even know when he was just here. Guys, if you're just getting here, please hit the like button. It's very helpful. I'm gonna put my hair back up. Lisa, you're hilarious. Oh my god.
All right, guys, we're ready.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me?
Amani Green.
Monty Green. Give me just a moment. Okay, Miss Green, you have got one charge that is battery. That has a bond amount of $3,500. That comes with special conditions. So while out on bond, you are to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Makisha Dorsett. And it's my understanding that you and Miss Dorsett live at the same residence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that means you can't go back to the 788 Overlook Terrace address while this bond condition is in place or until another judge changes the bond condition. What we will put into the order here is that within the first 10 days of your release from jail, you can contact the sheriff's office and schedule an appointment where they will give you a date and time that you can go to the property to get what items, the personal items that you would need while this bond condition is in place, and that you can go there without violating your bond. Okay. But you got to schedule that within the first 10 days of your release. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing, or I'm sorry, I have not scheduled. This is a misdemeanor. Do you want me to schedule your preliminary hearing? That would be October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing? Waive. Okay. All right. So I'm going to indicate here that you're waiving the preliminary hearing, and the deputies there will have a waiver form for you to sign. And they'll send that to me to sign this morning. And let's see, do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you?
I believe my mom might have an attorney for me.
Okay, you'll be hiring your own, or your family will be hiring your own. Okay. All right. I'm going to indicate here that you'll be hiring your own.
Hey, open that, bro.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
What's the name?
Thank you so much.
Okay, that was very polite. Let's continue on. Hi, Loud Elvis. Thank you for being here.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me?
Zanzi Green.
All right, Miss Green, you have got 2 charges. The first charge is a felony that is cruelty to children in the first degree. That bond amount is going to be $3,000. The second charge is misdemeanor battery family violence. That bond amount is also going to be $3,000. So your total bond is going to be $6,000. That comes with special conditions here that you are to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, which is Jarrell Claire. It's my understanding you and Jarrell Claire live at the same residence. Is that correct?
Not yesterday, yes.
Okay. You live at the same residence?
He was removed yesterday. He stayed with his dad.
Okay. All right. So you just have to stay away from Jarrell Claire. And if for whatever reason that means you can't go back to the residence, if he happens to be there, then you can schedule an appointment with the sheriff's office.
Ooh, Denali Mike, join is a good one that we should add onto the. Why can't I fucking? Okay, hold on. You have to do glasses first, then headphones. Join is another good one I should add. I'll write it down here in case. Sashina, I noticed you're having a bad day. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry if any of you are having a bad day. You know, I love and care about y'all. If you ever need to talk, you know my office door is always open. But seriously, I know this is a hard time of year for everybody. As a mother, you know, my daughter went back to school. Fuck. Just miserable. You know, summer is so beautiful sometimes. And then, so I understand. I think we all, as maybe parents, as professionals, as teachers, as humans at this time of year can understand the craziness. And look at that. Sashina says the most important thing again, and this is when, you know, you've got a true educator on your hands. She says, but my time with the students was great. I am so for administrators and fucking business people and politicians to get out of school so that teachers and people that are passionate about it can educate our children. You wouldn't believe it, because they are 1000% way better at it than y'all that want to run tests and shit like that. It's just stupid. I'll tell you, you know, I obviously come from a different land, but I also come from a place where I went to a school where we did not have any sort of standardized testing at all. The school basically banded together and they said, no, we're going to do it differently here. We became an independent family school, and that's what they called themselves. And so, for example, I never called a teacher by their last name until I was in the 8th grade. It was a big shock to me when I first had to say Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so. I've never in my life addressed somebody Mr. or Mrs. until I was probably 13 or 14 years old. And at that point, it feels pretty weird, you know? feels weird. Um, but again, the reality is that the teachers that were dealing with us day to day, for the most part, if they cared, you could tell they cared. Whoa, falling over. You could tell they cared, and you could tell they had a way that they could do it if they were given the ability. But what you'll find is most teachers are bound by school district, school board, school administrative laws and rules, and it's fucking worthless. If you want kids that are great at standardized tests, well, go ahead. You can become a mediocre fucking shit country. But if you want innovation and, you know, devotion and people with, you know, inquisitive minds, well, then you need to absolutely raise up the teachers and the support staff that support those kids every single day. If they don't do that, I guarantee you, you at home as parents aren't doing enough. I'm sorry, but the majority of you aren't. And so all you have left, the last line of defense, are these teachers, and you treat them like shit. I'm so mad about it. I told you, I already tried to get involved in it, and I was like, they did they did not appreciate my suggestion. Oh, I had very many suggestions. They did not appreciate most of them. And no, I'm talking in Canada. We don't do a great idea. We don't do great at education either. My daughter's schools, I can't tell you the fact that when I went to, here's the thing. The fact of the matter is that I should not have to fucking fundraise as a parent to pay for critical curriculum books. And that's what I have to do in Canada. That's not acceptable. Maybe it's like that in the States. At least, I don't think we take the standardized tests as seriously as y'all do, but we do not fund our Canadian schools like we should. We absolutely need to fund them better. I've already come up with a better funding system. They don't want to hear it, okay? But listen, those schools are perfect little venues on the weekends for some activities. We could get them back. Aw, Mayor, I'm sorry that you're hurting. Please feel better. I'm on my little rant about schools, but I don't like dispute the critical nature of teachers. Teachers, I believe in. You know, the person that literally went through university and then paid money to basically be like, tossed to the side, even though they spend their day with 27, 30, 35 kids a day. I mean, could you fucking imagine at whatever job you have taking 35 of the same person or the same type of client and dealing with them all day long? You fucking couldn't do that. Okay? We ask too much of teachers and we give them too little. And what we need to do is change that. 100% back. I believe that there should be people that are managing schools financially. Absolutely. But those people should have nothing to do with the educational goals of that school. And the educational goals of that school can be completely separate and handled by an educational principal. But that school itself can be profitable in different ways. Okay? Like, again, I didn't work in any schools. I volunteered in all of my daughter's schools from grade kindergarten to now. And I also was in school just 5 fucking years before she was born. So this was the funny, like the funny thing when they tried to tell me I was wrong about what I thought the school system was like, I looked at them and I said, listen, this is government, okay? I was here 5 years ago, which means none of this has changed at all whatsoever. Nothing. Not a fucking bit. And if you want to tell me I'm wrong, fucking show me. But you can't. And so here's how I'll tell you it goes. And I went in and I gave my daughter's teachers, and the only reason I was able to do this is because I went and got my daughter what's called an IEP, or an individualized education plan, because she has a true learning disability in processing. Totally different. Not what I deal with, it's what she deals with. But it allowed me to go into the school and say to the teacher, listen, I trust you. I trust you implicitly as an educator, not based on what your administration thinks of you, but based on your interaction daily with my child. And I actually do not care what a sorry, I got muted somehow. But I basically said to them, you can do whatever you want to make sure whatever numbers pass. But what that entails is she goes to school, she does well, like she tries hard, she doesn't disrupt other students, and she doesn't rub it in their face that she's doing differently than them, and she's not mean to anybody. Those are my requirements, basically. Iowa backyard cam. Oh my gosh. You guys, Iowa has I watched a video of you today releasing a squirrel into the backyard. I have desperately to find this squirrel video of a squirrel attacking me in my backyard with plums. Anyways, listen, you guys know it's one of my passions, because what I believe in is educators, and I believe that the school system itself gets in the way of those educators. First of all, by giving them too many students. Second of all, by giving them unrealistic expectations that they need to fulfill for each of those students. And then third of all, for punishing them when each of those students has a different reality on the spectrum that they've given them. I honestly, it's like when I worked at Volkswagen, right? I worked at Volkswagen for a number of years. And when I started to sell cars for Volkswagen, there became this requirement to have 100% on, like a 100% survey when you sold a car. You have to get a total perfect score. And if you didn't, you got half the money that you would normally get for selling that car. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you go to buy a new car and you think that that salesperson's making a lot of money, they aren't. When I was selling brand new Volkswagen vehicles, we were getting paid $100. And if we didn't get the 100% survey, we were getting paid $50 for that car. Now, I'm a marketing person. I'm a people person. And so to me, having real surveys where people tell me the truth about what their experience was, not influenced or told to go a certain way, would be so valuable to me. If somebody says, hey, the experience here when I buy a car, once I get past the purchase part and into the business office sucks, that would be very helpful. But that's not what they want. They want to be able to say on a commercial, 100% satisfaction rating with 98% of customers. And it's like, well, sure, we can get you that, but that doesn't actually tell you anything. And it told me a lot about what a company might want to learn versus what they actually want to hear. So you can twist results any way you want, but if you want to learn from what you do as a business, you have to be prepared for bad feedback, and you cannot censor that bad feedback. If you do, it's only at your own detriment. Anyways, somehow we're only like 6 minutes into this court video. We've already been going for an hour. I guess this is Whiny Wednesday over on my channel. I don't know. Listen, I hope you guys are doing very well. Iowa I'm going to call you Iowa. I don't know what I'm going to call you, Lisa. I'm going to call you Lisa because in my head I call you Lisa. But Lisa is here. And I'm gonna link your channel as well on my channel because I go there almost every day to check out the critters on her critter cam. Iowa works good. Okay, good. Uh, the critters on your critter cam always bring a smile to my face. Seriously, and I love that you've got it set up. You've got the music going. You know, you're just so you're with it. You're with it more than I am, my girl. And happy birthday. Is it your hubby that's his birthday today? Because happy birthday. I'm very happy for him. I do sing for people's birthday, but I also don't sing. So like if people don't want me to sing, I'm happy to not sing. T-Rex. T-Rex is shading me right now, saying watches Iowa but never shows up in your lives. See who she loves more. Oh my gosh. Funny. Okay, your hubby turns 56. Mr. Iowa, no song necessary. Understood, girl. Okay, happy birthday to Mr. Iowa. Let's get an F in the chat for Mr. Iowa. That's the way we do things on this channel. F in the chat, F in the chat, F in the chat. Mayor, do you go live too? Seriously, I applaud anybody who works on making a channel. It's very hard work. Look at all those F's, Iowa. Woo! Seriously, it's very, very hard work. It's thankless for the most of the time. Double F from Loud Elvis. I get so much thanks from you guys, and I'm very lucky. You know, I've seen channels. I will say, I did look this week. I guess this is Ranting Wednesday or Whining Wednesday or something, but I did look this week at, hold on, there's my phone. I did look this week at, my studio. That's what they call it in YouTube. When you're looking at your stats, okay? And remember, when you look at the studio versus, hold on, I'll go big. When you look at the studio versus when you look at like your dashboard when you're not monetized, it's different. You know, I used to look at it when I was not monetized, and then I became monetized, and I was like, oh, look at all this info. And then they demonetized me, and I was like, oh, wow, look at all that. Anyways, so it is slightly depressing to me that the old channel continues to grow at a faster rate than this channel somehow, some way. I'm not quite sure why. It's depressing. We're over 2,500 subscribers on the old channel, Larry. We are. I'm telling you, we are. And here's the thing that really killed me because I was like, oh, my new channel really, can't like I'm getting there, and I want Crass's channel, the Troyalty podcast, to get their hours lately. And I was like, shit, where am I with hours? So I went to check my hours, and then I went to check the other channel's hours, and I'll just show you guys this. Look, do you see what that says? That says I have like 54,000. You can't see it. It will not fucking. Regardless, it says 54,000 out of 4,000, or 59,000. No, 54,931. I don't know if people are still over the old channel, just like, wow, she's been on a very long vacation. I really don't know what most of them are doing. I have to go over there and make a more specific, like, hey, fuckers, you dumb. Come to the new channel. Because you guys are like normal. Like, you guys came, you figured it out. But how did like 2,000 people not figure it out? 2,400 people, 2,200 people. Anyways. And those are rookie numbers, Jonathan. I got make some demonetized videos on purpose. Oh. Jonathan, coming up with sneaky, deliciously sneaky ideas that I love that I'm not listening to YouTube Daddy. You didn't hear shit, YouTube Daddy. You go fuck yourself. I'm laughing so hard. I'm 100% getting demonetized.
Females, y'all gonna.
Ma'am, I need for you to move on the other side.
Ma'am, move.
Okay, good morning, sir. Can you state your full name for me to confirm? Okay, Mr. Awad, your attorney, Mr. Farnsworth, is on with us, so I'm going to direct questions to him at this point. The charge here is arson in the first degree. And Mr. Farnsworth, is there anything that you want to tell me about bond?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Awad's 27 years old. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. He's lived in Georgia for a period from 2013 to 2018 in the Valdosta area. He moved back here in December of 2022. He's been residing at 394 Summer Hill Circle in Stockbridge since that time. This is a case involving a restaurant in which there was a fire. My client had cooperated with all the investigations and in fact was arrested yesterday when he showed up at the police station for an interview regarding this incident. He voluntarily came there. They decided to take out a warrant and he obviously surrendered and turned himself in. He has a father here in Valdosta. He's a graduate from high school. He graduated in Chicago. He's recently married. His wife is in the process of coming here from Palestine. No prior arrest of any kind, Judge, that I'm aware of. Since the fire incident, he's been helping his dad, who runs a restaurant called Hip Hop Fish and Chicken in Valdosta. So he is employed as well. We don't believe that he is a flight risk, a risk of committing a felony. Obviously not a risk of intimidating any of the investigators in the process, and nor given this property crime a danger to the community. Given all those factors and the fact that you are able to set bond in this case, we would ask that you set a bond, a reasonable bond. We would ask for something in the neighborhood of $20,000.
Okay. And I think that's reasonable. So we'll do a bond of $20,000 on the charge. We'll put a do not return to locations. My understanding, this was a rented space.
Yes, Judge.
Is that correct? Okay, so we'll put a condition, do not
Palestinian. I love you guys so much.
not return to 5214 Highway 85 in Forest Park. The preliminary hearing will be scheduled for October the 2nd, unless do you have any legal conflicts for that date?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right. October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And does that take care of everything this morning?
Yes, it does. That concludes my business. Thank you so much, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
And thank you, Mr. Awad. Okay. Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
I hope you guys are having a great night. I am. It's Wednesday, but it feels like a Friday. Let's pretend it's a Friday. Let's get fucked up like it's a Friday. Maybe. I don't know. Don't get fucked up. Maybe just like a little fuck. Just needs a bump. So no. But I do need a Coca-Cola. Let me go get that.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Mr. Awad, is that still you there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We finished with your case. So deputies, I'm ready to take the females if that's who you got up next.
Females. Here,
Definitely not a weather chat, Lisa Figueroa. They would ban you just like they banned me from the web chat.
All right, Judge, I'm ready.
Okay, good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me?
Amani Green.
Monty Green. Give me just a moment.
Armani Green with red hair.
Okay, Miss Green, you have got one charge that is battery. That has a bond amount of $3,500. That comes with special conditions. So while out on bond, you are to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Makisha Dorset. And it's my understanding that you and Miss Dorset live at the same residence. Is that correct?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, so that means you can't go back to the 788 Overlook Terrace address while this bond condition is in place or until another judge changes the bond condition. What we will put into the order here is that within the first 10 days of your release from jail, you can contact the sheriff's office and schedule an appointment where they will give you a date and time that you can go to the property to get what items, the personal items that you would need while this bond condition is in place, and that you can go there without violating your bond. Okay, but you got to schedule that within the first 10 days of your release. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing, or I'm sorry, I have not scheduled. This is a misdemeanor. Do you want me to schedule your preliminary hearing? That would be October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing? Waive. Okay. All right. So I'm going to indicate here that you're waiving the preliminary hearing, and the deputies there will have a waiver form for you to sign. And they'll send that to me to sign this morning. And let's see, do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you?
I believe my mom might have an attorney for me.
Okay, you'll be hiring your own, or your family will be hiring
This is
your
deja
own.
vu.
All right, I'm going to indicate here that you'll be hiring your own.
Hey, open that, bro.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
What's the name?
Thank you so much.
Were they twins or did I go back somehow?
And what am I doing?
All right, good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me?
On Zanzi Green.
All right, Miss Green, you have got two charges. The first charge is a felony that is cruelty to children in the first degree. That bond amount is going to be $3,000. The second charge is misdemeanor battery family violence. That bond amount is also going to be $3,000.
fuck?
So your total bond is going to be $6,000. That comes with special conditions here that. All right, I'll indicate here that you're waiving
Okay, we're
the
gonna
preliminary
skip it.
hearing, and the deputies there will have a waiver form for you to sign in just a second. And they'll send
And
that over
Melanie,
to me
I've
to
been
sign.
banned from the weather
And
chat.
would
You
you
know
like
that.
to apply
hurt.
for a
It
public
hurt
defender?
deep.
Yes.
All right, give me just a moment to review your application here.
Will I have a bond today?
Okay, so I did get a.
Oh, Jonathan. I love that channel so much I sign on a different username. Like I was so embarrassed when they oh God, the lighting. I'm gonna do that now. We'll just keep going. I'm lighting Paisley.
Application for a court-appointed attorney, but it is not filled out for you. What kind of work do you do?
Work at a locksmith shop.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Locksmith shop.
Locksmith
Yeah,
shop.
locksmith shop, yeah.
All right. And how much do you take home after taxes in your average week?
I work part-time, so it's like 300 a week.
Okay. Do you have any other income other than that?
No, not really, not besides my kids and Social Security.
Okay, just your
Yeah.
children.
Yeah, so I don't get anything else.
Okay. All right. I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put the order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you on these charges. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
No, Jonathan, I would never have more than one username or like 7.
Hey, we're all next. Yeah. Why don't we listen on the female? Can we send like movie them?
All right.
Okay, here's a great non-sponsor sponsorship. Let's just talk about for a second. For the longest time, I've personally wanted somebody to literally find all of my history on the internet. Oh my God. You think I don't want it found? No, I want it found. I want everything I've done on the internet found. And nothing has come close to that except for one browser, one time. And I fucking put it in and it pulled up all of these usernames. And I'm not kidding you. I was like a little shook. I was like, oh, they got some deep shit. But I was also trying to do something. And so I clicked like no on a few of the usernames. Right? And then I started it up. And then later I was like, okay, yeah, I want all the stuff that was on those usernames. I went back and I went to the online chat and they were like, no, we can't get that. I was like, what? What do you mean? You had it before. They're like, yeah, we can't. I'm like, fucking wipe it clear. Let me start again. They're like, no, we can't do that. I was like, do it. Anyways. Like, for example, my first ever email address, inappropriate as fuck, was big_boob_Barbie_chick@hotmail.com. I do not have access to that email now. But I think the person that does should give it to me back. Give it back to me.
Hey, good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me?
Margaret Mack.
All right, Miss Mack, you have got 7 charges. I'm going to go down the line and tell you the bond amount on each charge, and then I will tell you the total at the end here. So the first charge is improper display of a license plate. That bond is $500. Next charge is expired registration. That bond is $500. The next charge is no insurance. That bond is $1,000. The next charge is driving on a suspended license. That bond is $1,500. The next charge is a felony. That's a violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. That bond amount is going to be $3,500. The next charge is misdemeanor possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce. That bond is $1,000. And then the last charge is possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. That is also a felony offense. That bond amount is $5,000. So when we add all 7 of these bond amounts up, your total this morning comes to $13,000. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for you that's going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you?
No, thank you.
Okay. Do you plan on hiring your own attorney?
Yes, I plan on hiring.
All right. I'm just going to indicate that here on your form that
Yes.
you'll be hiring your own. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
And can you tell me the amount one more time? It was kind of loud. I know you said
Thir-
13, but what else? 13.5?
13,000.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for cocking into your shift, hitting that like button, guys. I'm gonna check right now, and if there's less than 20 likes, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me? All right, Ms. McCauley, you have 3 charges. These are all 3 misdemeanor offenses. The first is simple assault. That bond amount is going to be $1,000.
Okay, we got 25.
The next
like,
charge
we
is
good.
battery. That bond
Love you.
amount is going to be $3,000. And the next charge is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. That bond amount is going to be $1,000. So when we add all those up, your total bond is $5,000. That's going to come with a special condition that you are to stay away from and have no contact with Aaliyah Jackson. Would you like me to schedule a preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing?
I want to waive the hearing and have it bound over the state if possible.
All right, we'll waive the
Wait, hearing and bound
preliminary
of state.
hearing
Lady,
here,
how do you know
and
that?
the deputies there will have a waiver form for you to sign in just a moment, and they'll send that over to me. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you?
Yes.
Okay. Give me just a moment to get your application. Give me just a second. I think yours is on my printer. Hang on.
Oh, and how does anybody here have a printer that works? I'd like to hear about that. If you have a printer that works, come on into chat. Tell me about that. Tell me what model it is. How come it works every time you use it? I want to hear all about that because that's fucking never happened ever.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I understand from your application you are not currently working. Do you have any other type of income?
Yes, I actually was supposed to start work on Monday.
You're supposed to start working on Monday?
I just had surgery and I just got a heart attack, so I'll be out of work.
Okay. So if you bond out this week, you will be starting a new job on Monday then?
Yes,
How much will you take home and pay every week on average, would you say, at the new job?
about 700.
About 700?
No, about 700 million, Judge, because I start on Monday and I have $700 million. Also, okay. Mayor has a printer scanner, Sashina prints at work. Orlando, you have used the same printer for years. You print a lot every day. You use a brother mother model, and I love it. Here's the thing. Brother printers. I will specifically be doing a expose / ad on Orlando Chiquita's printer soon. So you can send your sponsorship money to my email and me and Orlando will talk about it. Because nobody else here has anybody else that is telling them the truth about a printer. Seriously, printers are nuts. Also, okay, MB has an HP LaserJet MFP M29. Okay. Did I just make people go look at their printers? Iowa has a My Printer Works. Lexmark B2338 can print from your phone remotely and super fast? Shit. What a humble brag. What a humble brag. Oh, it can only be T-Rex who's killing me. Oh, you're killing me. Grim has a printer scanner you lease at the office. It's office grade. We are a bit extra sometimes. I'm still not seeing a model number. That's okay. You can get back to us tomorrow on that. Lisa, you'd love a 3D burger right now. Oh my God. You guys are great. I love you all. Dude, okay, hold on. Iowa's mother-in-law gave it to her and also gave each of her daughters the exact same printer. Okay, depending on your mother-in-law, also, who is Big Boob? MB, I said that my original email address, which was inappropriate and not acceptable, was big_boob_barbie_chick@hotmail.com. So I'm assuming that that is T-Rex. Oh gosh. She's a maker. You're a homeschool. You have an Epson workforce. You print stuff every day, thousands of pages. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, listen, I wish I could print thousands of pages. You know, whenever I've had a job where I can print things, my life just improves immensely. Things are printed everywhere. They're posted. I usually steal tape as well. Think very, very liberal. Listen, she's a maker. T-Rex can explain this. I happened to be traveling to Houston recently, and people were calling me a liberal. And in Canada, that's an insult. I'm not a liberal. I'm like a left coast. Okay? Like, I'm not liberal at all. I'm a fucking. And you know what? If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't mind disagreeing with fucking liberal because in Canada I'm nowhere near a liberal, but in the States, apparently I'm a liberal. And people were like literally saying that to me, and I was literally fucked up. Anyways, let's keep watching a little bit of court. We've got a little bit more left to watch. 2 hours. But we'll see. Just accidentally, Iowa showed up
And you
at
have
the place, and
3
I was like,
children, is that right?
no, I'm just Canadian.
All right. And they're all under 18?
Correct.
Okay. All right, I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put the order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you on these charges.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You can go sign it over there.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me?
Yes. Valerie.
All right, Miss Nelson, you have one charge. That's criminal trespass. That is a misdemeanor. That bond amount is $1,500. That comes with a special condition that while out on bond, you are not to return to 7134 Jonesboro Road, which is Heritage
go there.
Cadillac in Morrow.
Don't go there.
This
Don't
is
go
a
there.
misdemeanor. Do you want me to schedule a preliminary hearing, or do you want to waive the preliminary hearing? I didn't hear what you said. Waive, okay. All right, I'll indicate here that you're waiving the preliminary hearing, and the deputies there will have a waiver form for you to sign. They'll send that over to me to sign this morning. And would you like to apply for a public defender?
Yes.
All right.
You don't have her.
Oh,
They remove their name, they add on. So they remove their name, those are the 2 add-ons.
All right. And
Right there.
based on your application, your income level is such that you do not qualify as indigent under Georgia law, and so you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. If you would like an attorney to represent you on this charge, you'll have to hire your own attorney, okay?
Okay, yes.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
you can just put that over there.
Let's just.
Judge,
I'm gonna need
Judge,
these to flow.
her and the next person's gonna be an add-on.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. Can you state your name for me, ma'am? I'm sorry. The audio didn't pick up.
I think that's for your
She
name.
said, "My name is
Makia
name."
Okay. Miss Benson, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Makia.
I'm sorry. The audio didn't pick up.
I think that's for your name.
Oh, Makia Benson.
Okay. Miss Benson, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Benson, your appearance before the court this morning is a little different than everyone else's. Okay, so
Oh, let's hope she's a fugitive. Let's go ahead and get our votes in. Ladies and gentlemen, which state do you think she is a fugitive from? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh, I'm really hoping. I'm going to guess Illinois. I'm Illinoising. That's my guess. The odds of my boobs falling out tonight, I don't know. I'll jump harder. We can see more. Kentucky. It can't be Georgia, Iowa, because this is Georgia. I'll give you a hint. Indiana, Alabama, Kentucky, Michigan. Alabama. Oh my gosh. Alabama is coming in strong tonight. Florida. Bloop, boops, boops, boops. Yes, Mayor. Those are there. Texas from Iowa. Okay. Is anybody going to guess Iowa? Just for the fun of it? Oregon from Bruce Davis. Okay. Listen, she may not. Listen, Canada. Oh, Courtney. That would be very bad. Alabama. It sure isn't Montana. Seeing, oh, geez, Lisa. That's the same here. Ohio, Juicy Brucey, Mexico, Lick a Lot of Puss. Welcome. I don't know that you've been here before, but welcome. West Virginia, you can guess as many times as you want, baby. Let's find out.
Rights that I explained to everybody earlier apply to you as well, but you do not have any charges pending against you here in Clayton County. You have been brought here today because you have charges pending in another jurisdiction, and they have indicated they have a warrant for you and they want to extradite you. And looking at the paperwork here, it looks like it's out of Delaware. The Smyrna Police Department.
Delaware! Oh, wait, nobody guessed Delaware. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Delaware's on our list now. Holy shit. I love you guys.
Has indicated that you have a warrant for interference with custody, and that is a felony offense there, and they wish to
We all lose
extradite you.
Iowa, but we're all winners
What
because
I'm
we're
going to give you some information about extradition, and you have a choice. And when I get done explaining everything to you, I'm going to ask you if you want to contest extradition, which would mean you're taking the legal, or you're taking the position that Delaware doesn't have the legal right to come here and get you, to bring you back to Delaware to face this charge. Or if you want to waive the extradition process, which means you're essentially saying that you will voluntarily be taken back to Delaware, that they can come and get you and take you back. And let me give you all the information that you need to make that decision here. Give me just a moment. Okay.
That's true.
Like I said earlier, you have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you. If you desire to contest the legality of the extradition proceeding, then you must file or have filed on your behalf what's called a writ of habeas corpus. You would be allowed a reasonable amount of time to file a writ of habeas corpus. That is the legal document that contests the extradition. However, a writ of habeas corpus can only contest 4 different issues. The first is whether the extradition documents are in order on their face. The second is whether you are charged with a crime in Delaware. The third is whether you are the person named in the request for extradition from Delaware. And then the fourth is whether you are, in fact, a fugitive. You cannot contest the issue of your guilt or innocence of this actual charge in Delaware while you are here in Georgia. You can only do that in Delaware. You are entitled to the advice of an attorney in deciding whether to contest the extradition or to waive the extradition if you desire. Let me tell you about the time limits. This is the part you're going to really want to know here. If you decide to waive extradition and agree that Delaware can come and get you, then Delaware would have 30 days to come and pick you up.
Ooh, Canadian Batgirl, welcome. Down Undies, welcome as well. I hope you guys are having a great night. I am having a great night. I love all of your strip bond hearings. Shit, I should have worn more clothes, MB. Okay, I may have the giggles. We may have to keep going.
Take you back to Delaware. If they have not picked you up within those 30 days, then you would be released from jail here. If you contest the extradition and Delaware is unable to extradite you within those 30 days, they may receive an additional 60 days to complete the extradition process and come here to get you. So really they would get 90 days if you're contesting the extradition, but 30 days if you are waiving the extradition. So would you like to contest the legality of the extradition, or would you like to waive the extradition process? And the microphone is on mute there.
I'm laughing too loud, Judge.
I'm pretty confused. My mother said she was dropping the charges this morning, so.
Okay,
that's-
so we don't have any way of verifying that, anything out of Delaware about that. All that we can say is right now, Delaware has indicated they have a warrant for you and they want to extradite you.
Okay, cause she said she was up here. She's here now, my mother is.
I can't do anything about the
Okay.
charge in Delaware. I can
Okay.
only ask you whether you
I
want
would
to
like to wait.
fight, you want to waive, and
That's
so
30 days, right?
right, 30 days.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So there's a waiver form that you'll need to sign that the deputies that will have there. And let me just confirm, I've seen your last name listed kind of three different ways here. It's Benson, Benson.
Yes, and this paper says banks now.
Banks on it. Right. Okay. Go ahead and sign it. And when you they're going to send that to me to sign. I'll correct that on my end and change it to Benson. I wasn't sure if Banks was like a maiden name or if that was just an error, but I'll correct that on my end. Okay. And once they send those waiver forms to me, I'll get those signed and sent back, and that'll take care of everything on your
CC
case this
After
morning.
Dark Bondage Court.
Okay.
Yeah, check the
Okay,
link
thank you.
tree.
Thank you.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Okay, the judge does not seem to be on the same level that we are, you guys. We are having a great time tonight. Make sure that you clocked in for your shift by hitting that like button. We're in Clay County. We're having a good time tonight, guys. Whips and chains are often optional. KCC After Darkness, Naked Court Show. Shh. 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 Bondage Court is to go.
Okay, good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me? Casey, a cousin. Okay. All right, Miss Cousin, you were here. Didn't I see you last week
Yeah, something
on
like
on a different arrest?
that. Mhm.
All right, so you posted bond, and then now you're back again within a week. All right, let me tell you what this arrest is about then. So your charge on this one is possession of marijuana more than 1 ounce. That's a felony amount. That bond's going to be $6,000.
More than 1 ounce. That's a lot. Gentlemen, I'll be doing an ASMR court review soon because I have an 1,800-page report that I'm going to be working on. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe. I love you, and you're making me laugh.
$1,000. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing on that charge for October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are conducted over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on this charge? I couldn't hear you. I still, the audio's not picking you up. Can you,
On the side, but you said, would I like a preliminary?
would you like a no, would you like a public defender to represent you?
Okay, that's pretty what cousin, but I like to represent myself.
Okay, you're saying you want to represent yourself on this case? Okay, did we have this
That's
same
a good idea,
conversation last
honey.
week? I feel like this is familiar to me. Did you tell me last week you wanted to represent yourself too?
Yes, I do.
What did I?
Yes, I did. And within the same amount of time, I was rearrested. Oh, what did he tell her then? He told her, that's not a good idea, babe. Don't do that. Also, America Down Undies, welcome. This is a bit of deja vu. I don't think we watched it, but I'm so glad y'all are here. Good night, Very Cherry. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy that dick. if that's what you're doing. I love it. Beverly's back. Beverly, we got some shit happening. It's fun. I think we're going for a long night. We're gonna ride it all night long.
I'm sorry, the audio didn't pick up.
I think that's for your name.
Oh, Makia Benson?
Okay, Miss Benson, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Benson, your appearance before the court this morning is a little different than everyone else's. Okay, so the rights that I explained to everybody earlier apply to you as well, but you do not have any charges pending against you here in Clayton County. You have been brought.
Ooh, where's she been brought from, guys? Okay, I'm guessing this one to be Montana. World's Fair game. You're not such a weirdo. Welcome. Guess where? And Tin Man, yeah, we all need help. Don't worry about it. We're getting help right here every single day. You can clock in for your meeting. Somebody needs you to sign in and say, hey, they came for a meeting every week. Y'all got me. It can't be Delaware, according to Loud Elvis. World's Fair Game says Delaware. MB says Florida. Bruce Davis, Missionary, Mississippi, baby. Florida from RLS. Florida from Loud Elvis. Ohio. Will I sign off on court required AA meetings? I sure will, but I will not pretend that we were doing AA related things. I will tell the truth about what we did. Missouri from Courtney. Oh, did I guess Montana already? I think I'm guessing Montana. I see Alabama. I see Florida. I see Delaware. Nobody guessed Delaware before this. Now everybody's guessing Delaware. Let's continue.
I'm sorry, the audio didn't pick up.
I think that's for your name.
Oh, Makia Benson?
Maryland.
Okay, Miss Benson, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Benson, your appearance before the court this morning is a little different than everyone else's. Okay, so the rights that I explained to everybody earlier apply to you as well, but you do not have any charges pending against you here in Clayton County. You have been brought here today because you have charges pending in another jurisdiction, and they have indicated they have a warrant for you and they want to extradite you. And looking at the paperwork here, it looks like it's out of Delaware. The Smyrna Police Department has indicated that you have a warrant for interference with custody, and that is a felony offense there, and they wish to extradite you. What I'm going to give you some information about extradition, and you have a choice. And when I get done explaining everything,
Hold on. Do we need to go back? Did we already deal with the Delaware lady? Oh, no fucking way. I didn't realize I was on mic when I yelled that. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I usually meter myself a little bit more, Tin Man. You're fucking kidding me. I did not realize I was on mic. No fucking way. Are you joking? Is this the same Delaware lady? Well, somebody needs to go back and check. We've been doing this for an hour and 40 minutes, you guys.
so I'm going to ask you if you want to contest extradition, which would mean you're taking you're taking the position that Delaware doesn't have the legal right to come here and get you, to bring you back to Delaware to face this charge. Or if you want to waive the extradition process, which means you're essentially saying that you will voluntarily be taken back to Delaware, that they can come and get you and take you back. And let me give you all the information that you need to make that decision here. Give me just a moment.
Give me just a moment to slip you into time warp.
Like I said earlier, you have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you. If you desire to contest the legality of the extradition proceeding, then you must file or have filed on your behalf what's called a writ of habeas corpus. You would be allowed a reasonable amount of time to file a writ of habeas corpus. That is the legal document that contests the extradition. However, a writ of habeas corpus can only contest 4 different issues. The first is whether the extradition documents are in order on their face. The second is whether you are charged with a crime in Delaware. The third is whether you are the person named in the request for extradition from Delaware. And then the fourth is whether you are, in fact, a fugitive. You cannot contest the issue of your guilt or innocence of this actual charge in Delaware while you are here in Georgia. You can only do that in Delaware. You are entitled to the advice of an attorney in deciding whether to contest the extradition or to waive the extradition if you desire. Let me tell you about the time limits. This is the part you're going to really want to know here. If you decide to waive extradition and agree that Delaware can come and get you, then Delaware would have 30 days to come and pick you up and take you back to Delaware. If they have not picked you up within those 30 days, then you would be released from jail here. If you contest the extradition and Delaware is unable to extradite you within those 30 days, they may receive an additional 60 days to complete the extradition process and come here to get you. So really, they would get 90 days if you're contesting the extradition, but 30 days if you are waiving the extradition. So would you like to contest the legality of the extradition, or would you like to waive the extradition process? And the microphone is on mute there.
I'm pretty confused. My mother said she was dropping the charges this morning, so.
Okay, so we don't have any way of verifying that, anything out of Delaware about that. All that we can say is right now, Delaware has indicated they have a warrant for you and they want to extradite you.
Okay, because she said she was up here. She's here now. My mother is.
I can't do anything about the charge in Delaware. I can only ask you whether you want to fight, you want to waive, and
That's
so
30 days, right?
Right, 30 days. Okay. All right. So there's a waiver form that you'll need to sign that the deputies that will have there. And let me just confirm, I've seen your last name listed kind of 3 different ways here. It's Benson, Benson.
Yes, and this paper says Banks now.
Banks on it, right? Okay. Go ahead and sign it, and when you they're going to send that to me to sign. I'll correct that on my end and change it to Benson. I wasn't sure if Banks was like a maiden name or if that was just an error, but I'll correct that on my end. Okay. And once they send those waiver forms to me, I'll get those signed and sent back, and that'll take care of everything on your case this morning.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, why are you making me look so bad? Why can't you just fucking move on with the next count? Not account. Person. Person's life. I'm sorry.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name for me? Casey, a cousin. Okay. All right, Miss Cousin. You were here. Didn't I see you last week
Yeah,
on a different arrest?
Okay,
right, so
somehow we went back. We're going forward then.
And then now you're back again within a week. All right. I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's him.
Todd. Dejan Todd.
All right. Give me just a moment, sir. All right, Mr. Ties, you have got 3 charges. These are all felony offenses. The first is aggravated battery. That bond amount is going to be $10,000. The next charge is riot in a penal institution. That bond is going to be $10,000. And the next charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution. That bond is going to be $5,000. So your total bond for these three charges will be $25,000. That comes with a special condition that while out on bond, you are to stay away from the alleged victim, Miguel Carter. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for you. That's going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on these charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Excuse me, what the stay away name is?
I'm sorry?
What's the stay away name is?
Stay away from the alleged victim.
Who is? I don't even know who the victim is.
All right, Miguel Carter, the alleged victim in your case.
Miguel Carter.
All right. Okay. Well, if you don't know who he is, and if you bail out, you wouldn't have any problem staying away from him. So, all right. And I know you are currently incarcerated. I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put that order in this morning to appoint somebody. All right. Thank you, sir.
Well,
Cool, baby. Cool, baby.
What was his court date?
October the 2nd.
Thank you.
That's the real question. Am I gonna have a lot of fun in
All right.
Florida?
Good morning, sir. Can you state
Who's
your
gonna
name
bail
for
me out?
Isaiah Dexter.
Dexter. Give me just a moment.
Thank you, Deputy.
new charges.
All right, Mr. Dexter, you have got three charges. These are all felonies. The first charge is aggravated battery. The criminal records index indicates you were given 4 years of probation back in 2022 in Cobb County Superior Court. Because that probation, we're still within that period, I do not have the authority to give a bond amount on any felony offense. So I cannot assign a bond on any of these. The second charge is riot in a penal institution. That's also a felony. And then the third charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution. That is also a felony. So no bond amount this morning on any of those three charges. The preliminary hearing is going to be scheduled for October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on these charges?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me get your application out here.
Aw, Tin Man, thank you so much. You guys bailing me out. I appreciate that. And I will.
All right. And based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put the order in this morning appointing someone to represent you on these new charges. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Where's nothing?
All right. I'm sorry. Can you say your name one more time? Butler. Dennis Butler.
Oh, Beverly, thank you.
All right. Give me
You
just
guys
a
are
moment to
great.
get your paperwork here. All right, Mr. Butler, you have got two charges. Both of these are felonies. The first one is riot in a penal institution, And then the second charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution. The criminal records index says you were given 7 years of probation back in 2021 in DeKalb County Superior Court. Since we're still within that 7-year period, I cannot give a bond amount this morning on any felony. And I have scheduled a preliminary hearing for you that is going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on these new charges?
Yes.
Search for Spock. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry to hear that your older sister is needing to go to the doctor. But I'm so glad that she has you. Okay? We are having a bit of a long night. We've done barely any court, mostly me ranting. So if you want to mark this one to come back later and listen to me rant, go right ahead. If you are literally just getting here, oh, Courtney will bail me out too. Woo! Okay. I have like 4 good nights in Florida. No, seriously, I'm good at not getting fucking in trouble for the most part. Knock on wood. Larry Beaver, can you knock on some wood for me? But seriously. But I will, we're gonna have some fun in Florida, you guys. I'm taking y'all out to a karaoke. Oh yeah, we gonna have some fun. Everyone loves, oh, lightsaber. There was lightsabers at the conference we were at, that Matsuri conference. I took a picture of it. I was like, look at all those lightsabers. And everyone's like, yeah, I know. Oh, also, T-Rex said, so that's 5 people willing to bail me out in Florida, although it will take away the sports car that T-Rex is planning on getting in Florida. Woo! No, I am not. Mayor, I have a place to stay almost every day that I'm there. I appreciate the offer. I've been very well taken care of so far in Florida, but I want you to come down and especially for the meetup to meet Mikey. I'm pretty fangirly. I'm excited to meet Mikey. I feel like such a loser. He's like, people didn't say they were gonna come down, and then some girl says she's gonna fucking fly down. Yeah, that's me. I'm a loser.
All right. And based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put in that order this morning appointing somebody to represent you on these charges. All right. Thank you, sir.
Aw, Mayor, I'd love to go out to dinner with you. That'd be sweet. Jesus Christ, Judge. Can you get Larry or get organized here or something? What the fuck?
First and last name.
Yusuf Minor,
Okay, you say it one more time.
Yusuf Minor.
Mr. Minor. Okay.
You smile.
All right, give me
Come on,
just a
Ellie,
moment.
Thank you. Let's wait till our Florida content. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna ride a mechanical bull. We are
Okay,
gonna
Mr.
go.
Minor, you have been charged with interference with government property. That is a felony
That's
offense. The criminal records index indicates you were given 4 years confinement and 6 years of probation back in 2015 from DeKalb County Superior Court. Since we're still within that 10-year period, I cannot assign a bond amount on a felony offense this morning. I have scheduled a preliminary hearing for you. That's going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on this new charge?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just a minute.
Just a minute. It takes so long. You guys, light saves are awesome.
All
Can
right.
somebody find me a
And,
place to buy a lightsaber and offer
based on your
please?
incarceration, I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put the order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you on this new charge.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I literally saw a
Milton.
fucking
Mr.
lightsaber
Milton,
thing.
all right. Give me just a moment. I'm sorry, Milford. I said Milton there.
Oh, Milford's much better.
Okay, Mr. Milford, you have got 3 charges. Um, let's see. The first charge is riot in a penal institution, and that is a felony offense. The criminal records index indicates you were given 5 years confinement and 7 years probation back in 2016 in DeKalb County Superior Court. Since we're still within that time period, I cannot assign a bond amount on that felony offense. I also cannot assign a bond amount on the simple battery charge. That's a misdemeanor, but if it's a misdemeanor involving violence, I cannot assign a bond amount this morning on that, where there's a probation period still open. The third charge is a fray. That's got a preset bond amount of 1,000. We'll just leave that there as 1,000. I scheduled a preliminary hearing for you. That's going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on this new charge?
I have.
I'm sorry, the audio didn't pick up there.
I have.
You do want to apply for a public defender? Okay. All right. Give me just a moment to find your application here. All right. And based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put in that order appointing somebody to represent you this morning. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Beverly, no worries. Star Wars fans me out. I was watching Star Wars almost most of the weekend. It was on television. The place where I was.
Trentley Barnhill.
All right. I'm sorry. Can you state your name again?
Trentley Barnhill.
Trentley Barnhill. Okay. All right. Give me just a moment.
Brentley Barnhill. Okay, sir. Also, I hope everybody's. I'm so excited about Florida. You don't even get it. Every day from now until Florida, I'm just going to be getting happier and happier and happier. And
All
I
right,
hope it
Mr.
translates to all y'all.
Barnhill, you have got 2 charges. These are both felony offenses. The first charge is riot in a penal institution, and the second charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution. The criminal records index indicates that you were given 4 years, 6 months of probation with 6 months of confinement back in August of 2022 in Clayton County Superior Court. Since we're still within that time period, I cannot assign a bond amount on a felony offense this morning. I have scheduled a preliminary hearing for you. That's going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on these new charges? Yeah, I think the microphone there is still on mute. Okay.
I have a public defender already.
Okay, but probably assigned on the previous charges. So since these are new charges, we'll have to have to file again to assign somebody to these new ones. So hang on just a second. Let me get your application out here.
I got this guy's last one.
All right. And based on your incarceration, I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney on these new charges. And I'll put the order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you on them. All right. Thank you, sir.
Here,
Thank
William?
you, sir.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name for me?
Luciano Jenkins.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, give me just a second to get your paperwork here.
Luciano Jenkins. What a name. With your neck tattoos, sir. No offense to neck tattoos. No, I do not have any tattoos at all. Not a one.
All right, Mr.
Tattoos
Jenkins, you
at
have got two charges. First is aggravated battery. That's a felony. That bond amount is going to be $10,000. Second charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution, and that bond amount is going to be $5,000. So your total bond is $15,000. That comes with a special condition that you are to stay away from. If you bond out, you're stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Miguel Carter. Would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you on these new charges?
No.
Okay. Do you plan on hiring your own attorney to represent you?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to indicate just here on your application that you'll be hiring your own attorney. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. All right. Can you state your name one more time?
Jeremy Durden.
Durden. Okay.
Jeremy.
All right. Give me just a moment to find your application. I mean, your paperwork here.
Sir. What's that song? Oh, I'm gonna play it now. Y'all are gonna watch me dance. Watch me dance.
All right. Mr. Durden, you've got two charges. These are both felonies. The first charge is riot in a penal institution. That bond amount is going to be $10,000. The second charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution, and that bond is going to be $5,000. So the total bond will be $15,000 on these new charges. Excuse me. The preliminary hearing on your case is going to be scheduled for October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay, based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put the order in this morning appointing have an attorney appointed to represent you on these new charges. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name for me? You say it one more time.
Lorenzo Roberts.
Mr. Robinson. Roberts. Okay. Lorenzo Roberts. All right. Give me just a moment to find your paperwork.
Bye, MB. Have a great early morning. We're all gonna have a great rest of the month, so I know you will too. Love you.
All right, Mr. Roberts, you have got 3 charges. These are all felonies. The first is aggravated battery. That bond amount is going to be $10,000. The second charge is riot in a penal institution. That bond is going to be $10,000. The third charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution. That bond is going to be $5,000. So the total bond is $25,000. That comes with a special condition that if you are able to bond out, you would have to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Miguel Carter. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for you. That's going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on these new charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Based on your incarceration, I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put the order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You're not dancing at home. What are you doing?
All right. Good morning, sir. Could you state your name for me?
Jorge Beltran.
Can you say it one more time?
Jorge Beltran.
Beltron. Okay. All right. Give me just a moment to find your paperwork here.
You didn't
All
even
right, Mr.
pause it
Beltran,
on.
you have 3 charges. These are all felonies. First charge is aggravated battery. That bond amount is going to be $10,000. The second charge is riot in a penal institution. That charge is going to that bond is going to be $10,000, and the third charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer of the law in a penal institution, and that bond amount is going to be $5,000. So your total bond is $25,000. That comes with a special condition that if you are able to bond out while out on bond, you will have to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Miguel Carter. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for you. That's going to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would
You know exactly why I didn't come to the rave, T-Rex. But I'll go to a rave with you.
you like to apply for a public defender to represent you on these new charges?
Yes, John.
Okay. All right. Give me just a second here. All right. Okay. Based on your incarceration.
You know, I tried to find a place in Florida that would let us dance on stage, but they're not anywhere that I can find yet.
I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, and I will put that order in this morning, appointing somebody to represent you on these charges. All right. Thank you, sir.
No, can confirm. Me and T-Rex are in Houston together in person. Slow. Josh is so slow. Some people might not know that we're in Houston together, T-Rex. Didn't even pause by accident. That's the way, but I'm down.
All right, good afternoon. Can you state your name for me?
Henry Bell, sir.
All right, give me just a moment here. All right, Mr. Bell, you have got 5 charges. The first 2 charges are possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. There's 2 charges on that. That is a felony. The bond on each of those charges is $8,000. The third charge is a misdemeanor. That's no insurance. That bond amounts $1,000. The next charge is also a misdemeanor. Following too closely, that bond is $500. And then the last charge is also a misdemeanor, driving on a suspended license. That bond amounts $1,500. So when we add up all 5 of those bonds, your total today, this morning, comes to $19,000. I have scheduled a preliminary hearing for you that will take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you?
We can, sir.
All right.
I can ask a question. You say the bond, what, sir?
Total bond is $19,000.
19,000.
Okay, and based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will put that order in appointing somebody to represent you today. All right. All right. Thank you, sir.
One thing, if I pay it today, will I be able to get out?
Yes, sir. Your paperwork will be processed. It takes about 3 hours or so to get all the paperwork processed, but once that's done, you'll be able to bond out.
3 hours?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon. Can you state your name for me?
My name is Gary
Kitchen
Jackson.
court cases?
Mr. Jackson. All right.
Sorry, kitchen court tab.
Just a moment here. All right, Mr. Jackson, you have got 3 charges. The first charge is battery. That's a misdemeanor. The bond amount is going to be $3,500. The second charge is affray, also a misdemeanor. That bond's going to be $1,000. And then the third charge is riot in a penal institution. That's a felony offense. That bond amount is going to be $5,000. So we add all 3 of those up. Your total bond this morning comes to $9,500. If you are able to bond out, while out on bond, you would have to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Miguel Hall or Michael Hall. I'm not sure which way you pronounce that.
It's definitely Michael.
Preliminary hearing in your case is going to be October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you on these charges?
I don't know who that person was you were speaking on, sir.
All right. Well, that's the alleged victim that is listed in your warrants. Okay. But if you don't know them, then you shouldn't have any problem staying away from them if you're able to bond out. Okay.
You're saying charges I'm not nothing aware of, sir.
All right. Well, I'm just telling you what's on your warrant here. Okay. All right. I'm asking you, do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on these 3 charges?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And I will put the order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you on these new charges. All right. Thank you, sir.
Hey, I guess I step over next to you, right?
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name for me?
Mr. Hooper.
Mr. Hooper. All right. Give me just a moment to find your paperwork. Okay, Mr. Hooper, you are charged with obstruction of a law enforcement officer. That's a misdemeanor offense. That bond amount is going to be $2,500. Would you like me to schedule a preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing?
I'm really kind of so if I bond out today, How do it work? You know, I
Okay.
never-
So, right. All right. So if we schedule your preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, but if you post bond later today and you're released, that hearing is just automatically canceled. And you would get a notice from the state court of the next hearing at that point.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
sir. But you can still
Yay,
set it
thank
for
you,
that.
Okay.
RLS.
All right. So we'll schedule you for October the 3rd. And like I said, if you post bond anytime before then that hearing's just automatically canceled. All right. And would you like to apply for a court-appointed attorney to represent you?
Yes, sir, for right now, yeah.
Okay. Okay, based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And I will put the order in this morning, appointing somebody to represent you on this charge.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You said 2,500.
2,500. Yes. Mhm.
All right, all right.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the last
Hey,
name?
what's the line, though?
Morning, Barrera Hernandez.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm sorry. Can you say your name one more time?
Manuel Barrera Hernandez.
Okay. All right. Give you just a second here. All right, Mr. Barrera Hernandez, you have one charge, that is trafficking. That is a felony offense, and that is an offense that only the superior court, a superior court judge has the authority to assign a bond. So I cannot assign you a bond this
Jesus.
morning on the trafficking offense. I have scheduled you a preliminary hearing. That will be held October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would you like to apply for a court-appointed attorney to represent you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, based on your income level, you do not qualify as indigent under Georgia law, and so you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So if you want an attorney to represent you on this charge, you'll have to hire your own attorney, okay? All right. Thank you, sir.
Wow, how much money can you make? Also, thank you guys for being here. I so appreciate you. You're my friend. Let's all grab a drink, take some meds, drink some water. We got a while left.
Okay, can you say your name one more time?
Zerari Doster.
You say your last name one more time.
Doster. Doster.
Doster. I got you. Okay. All right. Give me just a second to find the paperwork here. Okay, Mr. Doster, you have two charges. The first is a misdemeanor, that's battery family violence. That bond amounts $3,500. The second charge is a felony, that's violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. It was a marijuana more than 1 ounce. That's a felony amount. That bond amount is $6,000. So when we add those two together, your total bond comes to $9,500. Because of the battery charge, that comes with a special condition that while out on bond, you are to stay away from and have no contact with just one Kent. Do you and Miss Kent live at the same address?
My store.
I'm sorry, the microphone wasn't on for the first part. I didn't hear the first part you said.
No, we stay together, but I'm finna move. We actually moving out the house by the end of the next week or something.
Okay. Do you still have personal items at that address? Okay. I'm going to put a condition in the bond order that says within the first 10 days of your release, you can contact the sheriff's office and they'll give you a date and time that you can go to the property to retrieve what items you need without violating your bond conditions. But you'll have to schedule that appointment within your first 10 days. Okay. I can't remember if I already told you, I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed lawyer.
I
And
want
I will
corn dog
put in the order this morning
now.
appointing
I've never
somebody to
had one
represent
in
you.
Canada. I'll say that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Never had corn dog in Canada. Spent most of my life in England. Therefore, never mostly had corn dog.
All right. Good afternoon. Can you state your name for me?
No, Malone.
Malone. Okay, give me just a moment to find the paperwork here. All right, Mr. Malone, you have got one charge.
Really want the
That is
Guinea
simple
hot
battery,
corn
family
dog, though.
violence. That bond amount is $2,500. That comes with a special condition that while out on bond, you are to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Roberton Cadu.
Yeah, that's
I may not be pronouncing that correctly, but
Probably
do
not,
you
Judge.
and Miss Cadu live at the same residence?
No, sir.
Okay.
Was
All
there
right.
ham in
So
that
you have to
program?
just stay away and have no contact with her. Would you like me to schedule a preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing?
If I waive it, what's the, well, I'm trying to find out. So I know you said that it'll be a later date anyway.
Yeah, if you bond out, the hearing's just automatically canceled. So what we can do is just put you on the calendar for October the 3rd. And then if you post bond anytime before then, today or anytime, then that hearing is just automatically canceled. And at that point, magistrate court transfers your case to state court. And then they would schedule your next hearing.
Beautiful deal.
Okay, so we'll schedule you, or we'll put you on the calendar for October the 3rd. And then if you post bond before then, like I said, that's just canceled at that point. Okay, and would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you on this charge?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Worth $1 million.
Okay, so on your application that you indicated as far as your employment, I guess you're not sure whether you're still employed.
Yes, sir. I was in another county for like 2 weeks waiting on Clayton County to come get me. I got to confirm with my boss if I still have a job or not.
Oh, so you haven't worked in.
I was working for them, but I worked only for a month. I was on the way to South Carolina, got pulled over, and I got stopped. So I've been locked up probably 2.5 weeks. So I'm not sure if I still have employment when I get out of here.
Okay. How much were you earning? Let's say take home pay each week.
Here's the thing. If I ever get arrested in the United States, they're going to ask, how much do you make a week? And I'm going to say some facetious number that's based upon you guys, okay? And I'm also going to say that I'm starting on Monday. I have a YouTube job starting on Monday where they're going to pay me $5,000 a week. No, 500. I'll take that.
After taxes, how much were you earning in that position?
After taxes, roughly 600 a week.
About 600. And you have one child, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How old's your child?
Well, it's on the way next month.
Oh, okay. You're about to have a newborn. Okay. All right. I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will put the order in this morning, appointing somebody to represent you on this charge. All right. Thank you, sir.
And you said 2,500 or 2,000?
2,500. That's right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Deontay Barnhill.
All right. Give me just a moment.
Right, my grandma's a vet. My cat is in hospice.
All right. Let's see. Mr. Barnhill, you have got one charge. That is criminal trespass. That bond amount is $1,500. That comes with a special condition that while out on bond, you are not to return to this incident location, which is 11405 Ashfield Lane. and it's my understanding you also live at that residence. Is that correct? The microphone's on mute there.
Yes, I was living there. I actually can go back to living at my residence at 679 Burnt Creek Drive, Lilburn, Georgia.
Okay. Do you still have
Dumbass.
personal items at the Ashfield Lane
Yes, sir.
address? All right. I'll put a condition in here that just says you can schedule an appointment with the sheriff's office within the first 10 days of your release. And they'll give you a date and time that you can go to the Ashfield Lane property to get your personal items that you need while this bond condition stays in place. Okay. And
I appreciate it.
this is a misdemeanor. Do you want me to schedule your preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing?
You can schedule.
All right. We'll schedule you for October the 3rd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you on this charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will put the order in this morning, appointing somebody to represent you on this charge. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Could you repeat the bond for me?
I'm sorry, $1,500.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not. All right.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name for me? I'm sorry.
How you doing today?
Good. Good. Can you say your name one more time?
Andre Jefferson.
Jefferson. All right. Give me just a moment here. Okay, Mr. Jefferson, there were 3 charges presented on your arrest affidavit. The first 2 charges were possession of a firearm during commission of a felony and then possession of a controlled substance. Based on the arrest affidavit, I'm going to dismiss those charges this morning. The 3rd charge is a felony theft by receiving stolen property. That bond amount is going to be $4,000. On these charges that are being dismissed this morning, these are charges that may be filed again against you, though. Okay. But the bond will be $4,000 on the theft by receiving stolen property. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on this charge?
No, I don't.
I know,
Okay,
Greg,
you plan on hiring
honestly, or Greg, sorry, Greg. Just 1,000% from the deepest part of my heart. Grim. Here's the thing. If you ever watch Big D Bond Court with my channel, we see a lot of dismissals. Mayor, waiting for them to pop out. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. We'll see. But seriously, yes. Dismissal. Thank you for the middle D.
Your own attorney?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to indicate here on the form that you'll be hiring your own. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name for me?
James Dixon.
You say it one more time?
James Dixon.
Dixon. Okay. All right. Give me just a moment here. All right, Mr. Dixon, you have got one charge. That is a felony theft by receiving stolen property, and it's a motor vehicle. The criminal records index indicates you were given 5 years of probation back in October of 2022 in Clayton County Superior Court. Since we're still within that time period, I cannot assign a bond amount this morning on a felony offense. I have scheduled a preliminary hearing for you that's going to be held on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you on this charge?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I understand you are not working. Do you have any other type of income?
No, sir.
All right. I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put the order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you on this charge. All right. Thank you, sir.
One of y'all.
All right. Good morning. Can you state your name for me?
I'm a Charlotte Kalenko.
Hang on just a second. You say your last name one more time?
Kalenko.
Kalenko. Okay, gotcha. There it is. All right. Give me just a second to find it. All right, Mr. Kalenko, you have got 3 charges. The first is felony cruelty to children in the 2nd degree. That bond amount is going to be $4,000. The second charge is a misdemeanor, cruelty to children, 3rd degree, allowing children to witness felony, battery, or family violence. That bond amount is going to be $1,500. And then the last charge is battery, family violence. That is a misdemeanor. That bond amount is going to be $3,500. When we add all 3 of those bonds up, your total bond this morning comes to $9,000. Based on the battery and cruelty to children charges, there will be special conditions on your bond that you are to stay away from and have no contact with all of the alleged victims. And I'm going to list them all here in the bond order. That is Major Johnson, Kalanko Kill, Renaya Logan, Carly Griffin, Ryan Logan, and Octavia
Major
Houston.
Johnson Kalanko.
Do you live at the same
is a joke? Is that a joke?
And I'm going to list them all here in the bond order. That is Major Johnson, Kalanko Kill, Renaya Logan, Carly Griffin, Ryan Logan, and Octavia Houston. Do you live at the same residence as any of those individuals? Okay. All right. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for you that will take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And on your application for a court-appointed attorney, it says refused at the top. Do you plan on hiring your own attorney?
I got an attorney on.
Okay, I'm just going to indicate that here on the form. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm poor.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Just keep that up.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon. Can you state your name for me, sir?
Justin Junior Centerville.
You say your last name one more time?
Stanville. That's
Sandville. All right. Give me just a second to find the paperwork here.
I don't know.
All right, Mr. Sandville, you have got 1 charge. That is battery, family violence. That is a misdemeanor. The bond amount is $3,500. That comes with a special condition that while out on bond or until another judge changes your bond conditions, you are to have no contact and are to stay away from the alleged victim, Ancion Clifford. That means you cannot return to the residence at 5259 Chantilly Terrace. If you have personal items there at the residence that you would need while this bond condition is in place, you can contact the sheriff's office within the first 10 days of your release, and they will schedule an appointment for you to go to the property and get what items you need without violating your bond conditions. This is a misdemeanor. Would you like me to schedule the preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing?
Sure.
Schedule? Okay. All right. So we'll schedule you for October the 3rd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. Give me just a moment to finish this paperwork here. And would you like to apply for a court-appointed attorney or a public defender? I'm sorry. You said,
No.
okay. Do you plan on hiring your own attorney? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You do? Okay. I'm just going to indicate here on the form you'll be hiring
Becca,
your
don't
own.
we all have our
All right.
own
Thank you,
porn
sir.
star names?
You know, when you did that, I asked you to translate, nobody said anything, so who don't speak English?
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name for me?
How you doing? My name is Elago Webb.
Go back.
Can you say it one more time?
Elago Webb.
Go well. All right. Give me just a second.
You don't speak English? What's the name?
All right, Mr. Webb, I'm looking for your paperwork.
Oh, yes.
Give me just a moment. Sure where it went.
Yeah, I can see you.
Everybody needs to let be.
They.
Well, I may have misplaced your paperwork. Give me just a moment here.
Jesus Christ, Judge. What the fuck? I'm over here trying to eat fucking dinner, and you're over here misplacing paperwork, and Larry Beaver's at rehab. What the fuck are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I'm not gonna stop eating. I know that much. Maybe you should find the paperwork. What paperwork do you need? What is it that you need to be able to make a decision like this for this poor gentleman who's wearing a fucking what looks like a maternity shirt with a fucking pregnancy pouch, like a kangaroo? What the fuck has he got in the front of that pouch?
I think I know what I did with it. Give me just a second.
Oh, you know what you did? Where is it? Come on now, Judge. You're looking shitty. Judge Dan can do this.
Here we go. All right. Okay, Mr. Webb,
Okay,
you
here
have
we go.
got two charges. There is simple, let's see, I'm sorry, battery, family violence. That is a misdemeanor. That bond amount is $3,500. The second charge is criminal trespass. Just a second, let me damage to property. That is a misdemeanor. That bond amount is going to be $2,500. So when we add those two together, your total bond this morning is going to be $6,000. That comes with special conditions. While out on bond, you are to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Adrianica McGrowder. And it's my understanding you and Miss McGrowder both live at the same residence. Is that correct?
No, not more.
Okay, you don't live. Okay, but the 2070 Lake Harbin Road, that's her address.
Yes.
Okay, so you can't go back to that address since she's there. You have to stay away from there. Would you like me to schedule a preliminary hearing for you, which would be October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing?
I was told by my shit, what it's called, by my public defender this morning that I have a primary hearing next week, Wednesday.
Okay, that may be on a different, do you have a different charge out there other than these two?
I'm on probation.
Okay, well, that may be something with the probation. So the preliminary hearing would be on these two charges. And what I can do is set that for October the 3rd. And then when you talk to your attorney again, if your attorney wants to waive it, they can do it at that time. But we can go ahead and just put you on the calendar for October the 3rd. And if you post bond in between here and then that hearing is just automatically canceled at that point. Okay.
If I post bond.
Right.
Am I able to post bond?
As far as these two charges, yes. Based on what I've got here, but now other matters that may be out there, you said there's something about some probation or something.
We're watching.
I don't have any of that information in front of me. So
I'm always
nothing
watching.
on these two charges will prevent you though from posting bond. I can say that. Okay, so we'll set your preliminary hearing for October the 3rd. And then would you like to apply for a public
Still going
defender
strong,
to represent
Melanie.
you on these charges?
I'm refueling right now.
Okay, they
In
may
an
be appointed
offline
for
mukbang.
like I said, but it is a public defender who's representing you on whatever else was going on. Okay. All right. Based on your application, you
24-hour
qualify
kitchen,
for a
baby,
public
Waffle
defender
House
on these two new charges here. And so I'm just going to put in the order just to make sure that somebody's representing you on these two new charges. It may be the same person. They may be two different attorneys. It just depends on how they assign the cases. But I will put in the order to make sure somebody's appointed to represent you on these charges as well. All right. Thank you, sir.
No, we can.
Take that second.
All right. Good afternoon. Can you state your name for me?
Antoine Evans.
All right, Mr. Evans, give me just a moment here.
Melanie T-Rex is coming to
All right,
meet
Mr.
us
Evans, you
or
have
me
got
in
one charge. That is felony
Orlando.
terroristic threats.
Holy shit,
The
dude. Way
criminal
to bring the
records
mood now.
index indicates you were given 5 years of probation back in November of last year in Clayton County Superior Court. Since we're still within that 5-year period, I cannot assign a bond amount this morning on a felony offense. I have scheduled a preliminary hearing for you. That'll take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put that order in. I also note here on the application, you indicated you served in the U.S. military. Is that correct?
Correct.
Which branch did you serve in?
Navy.
Navy. How long did you serve?
2 years.
2 years. All right. We have a veterans program here at the court. And what I'm going to do is, if anybody's a veteran, I always submit their information just to they can check and see if they.
As a Canadian, I literally recognize American veterans as people who have literally made sacrifices for the entire free world. So while I salute Canadian veterans as well, I always say that to US veterans and mean it. Please don't take that in jest. That's true. Thank you for your service.
They have any resources that might help you as well. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Go to elevator 2 and 4.
You what now?
Go to elevator 2 and 4.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name for me?
That's James.
All right. Okay, Mr. James, you have got 3 charges. The first charge is simple battery. That's a misdemeanor. That bond amounts $3,500. I'm sorry, I said simple battery, just battery, plain battery. The second charge is affray. That is a misdemeanor. That bond is $1,000. And then the third charge is riot in a penal institution. That is a felony offense, and that bond is $5,000. So your total bond this morning comes to $9,500. That comes with a special condition that if you are able to post bond and are released, while out on bond, you would have to stay away from and have no contact with the alleged victim, Maurice Wader. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for you to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And do you want to apply for a public defender to represent you on these charges?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And I will put the order in this morning, appointing somebody to represent you on these charges. All right. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Sean.
Stand up.
All right. Good afternoon. Can you state your name for me?
Kingsley Wallace, Your Honor.
Mr. Wallace. All right. Okay, Mr. Wallace, you have one charge that is public indecency. It's a misdemeanor, and that bond amount is $2,000. Would you like me to schedule a preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, or do you want to waive that hearing?
Can you repeat that, Your Honor? What was the last part?
Yeah, do you want to, I can schedule you for a preliminary hearing for October the 3rd, or this is a misdemeanor. If you want to waive that hearing, that is fine as well. That's just up to you. Do you want me to schedule it?
Yes, sir. I mean, yes,
Oh.
Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We'll schedule you for October the 3rd at 8:30 a.m. If you post bond, before that time, today or any time after that, then that hearing is just automatically canceled at that point. Would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to add too many facial expressions. I'm not trying to distract you.
I'm sorry. The audio is breaking up there.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, for all the movements and this, that. I just had a lot of my mind.
Okay. All right. So based on your application, I do find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will put the order in appointing somebody to represent you. And you indicated here on your application you served in the military. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
What branch did you serve in?
U.S. Army, Your Honor.
Army. How long did you serve?
4 years, Your Honor.
4 years. All right. We have a veterans program here at the court. And if we have a veteran come through, I always submit their information to the veterans program folks. What they can do is see if they have any resources that might also help you. Okay. So I will do that for you. All right. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So number 2 defendant, his name is Awad Haitham. He's Arabic. So he's gonna need a translator probably next.
Yeah, that's good. So it's spelled OWDA.
AWAD.
Wait, the last name is, tell me the last name again.
Awad, AWAD.
Oh, actually, we had him earlier. I think he was the one represented by the attorney.
I think that was the first one, Judge. OWDA was the one that was presented, that was represented by the attorney. This is number 2. I think it's position 2.
Correct.
Okay. I thought it was the other way around. I thought he was representing Awad. Because I know I was asking for Awad because I didn't know how to pronounce it. So you have
We need to check it out because both of the charges are the same.
yeah, it's the same. I think they're I think they may be brothers actually. But okay, so the person you had, can you just double check and make sure the person you have there is not Alda, Owda?
That's the first one. He was the one represented by the attorney. Then the second one, his first name is Hytham. He didn't know how to speak English.
Okay. All right. I had them backwards.
Oh dear.
Okay.
And
So
thank you again
so
for
what
the
we'll have to
clerks.
do then is reschedule Hytham Awad for tomorrow and try to get an Arabic interpreter scheduled for that. So we'll work on that in a little bit. Okay, so we'll reset Hytham Awad then. All right.
And that should be it, Your Honor.
Okay, I've got a number of folks that I'm not sure I've seen.
Judge, you sound like Winnie the Pooh. Confused and a little bit
Judge,
So
hungry.
as far
yes.
as the Awad goes, when are you resetting him to?
Well, we'll try to get an interpreter for tomorrow.
Okay, just
we just gotta we didn't know about we needed an interpreter today, so if we need an Arabic interpreter, we can try to get it scheduled for tomorrow.
okay, understood. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I've got Antonio Carter here.
Carter. He went already. He was with Ryden to stay away from
Clerk from the
Miguel,
court. You're right, Melanie.
No, I think that's a different person here. This is a
See,
writing charge, but this one was not entitled to a bond. I've got him here that I have not seen him because I have not.
Let's all take
I
our
haven't
meds, roll a
addressed
joint.
his
grab a drink.
attorney.
While
But
he figures
let me
this
just read you the names of the folks that I don't think
Yeah,
I've seen. Antonio Carter, Devlin Enoch, Noch, Kobe, Devlin Enoch,
Devlin Enoch.
Kobe Grayer, Gryer. Let's see. Ledwin
Me, the disembodied
Melendez.
voice, Jonathan.
He's possibly OTB because he had preset bonds, but I haven't seen him. Mario Perez.
That's when he was up. I went looking for him. They told me he was up here.
And Kwame Russell. He had presets. He's possibly OTB, but I haven't seen him.
The parade's gonna go home.
I could ask the judge.
Oh.
And Raymond White.
White is alone.
Yeah, there's a loan for White, Your Honor.
Okay, so he is out on loan.
Yes, sir.
There was also a female that I didn't
Ely?
see. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
Ely, yes, Toya Ely.
We couldn't find her. She was supposed to be in medical. She wasn't in medical. She was supposed to be in a dorm. Wasn't in a dorm. So those people, where's your, did you let him know that he need an
Yes.
interpreter? You can say that more. Who would do that? Cousin. It takes an half hour. This was, this is a copy.
You can go everybody to the courts. Up there. You can get something.
I need to rest because
Are y'all
they
gonna
let
be
a
able to get
13-year-old
any of
girl
these
have
other
that account
folks
for
today?
many years.
Let me check if Mario Perez, he was up here, but if you can give me a couple minutes. Or a couple
Okay.
seconds.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I want to give them a couple minutes. Let's fast forward a little bit here. Love the draw. Can fast forward a little bit, and then I noticed. What the fuck, y'all? You taking so long? Man, I'm rolling here, guys. Do me what you like. The internet really is forever, except when you want something use a maker, and that's like unable to find. Can't pull up last page. Seriously, if I wanted to find something I posted on the internet a long time ago, I wouldn't be able to. But if I didn't want it found, it'd be found. It's just like, what is that? You know what I talk about, the fear and
Silent and
tip
say
ship
nothing.
scientific. Okay, here we go. Scientific.
English well.
Yeah, I understand a little
Hi,
bit,
Ibria.
but it's okay.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, just your rights quickly. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. You have you are presumed to be innocent of all charges until the state of Georgia proves you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Oh, Melanie, my first email, one of my first email addresses as a young child inappropriately was big_boob_Barbie_chick@hotmail.com. And T-Rex tried to replicate that tonight, but I lured a lot of people from Yahoo chats to that email address. And I felt quite good about it.
You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you. You have the right to a speedy and a public trial by a jury. You have the right to compel the attendance of your witnesses to testify on your behalf at that trial. And you have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
I was neither big nor boobed nor Barbie. I was barely a chick, but I owned it. I have a few other emails that I will not reveal live on this channel, but I should reveal later. A little raunchier too.
At that trial, you have the right to testify and offer your own evidence in your defense if you choose to do so. If you are not a United States citizen, some charges may adversely affect your immigration status, and you would need to consult with an attorney if you have any questions about immigration. Okay, so you are charged with 2 offenses. The first was is battery family violence. Based on the information presented in the arrest affidavit, I am dismissing that charge this morning.
Whoa,
although
dismissal.
the charge may be brought against you again in the future. The second charge is providing a false name, address, or date of birth to law enforcement. That bond amount is going to be $1,500 this morning. I'm going to schedule you for a preliminary hearing on October the 3rd. And if you post bond and are released from jail before then that hearing will be automatically canceled at that time or waived. Okay. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you?
Sí, pero no tengo bond. I have bond for pay this 2 charge.
You want to know
Okay. Okay, your bond is going to be $1,500. Okay, for the offense that I'm not dismissing today. That's the giving a false name, address, or date of birth. Okay, so $1,500. And do you want a public defender to represent you on this charge?
Eso es por los 2 cargos.
Okay, so Mr. Perez, I'm not sure that you're understanding what I'm saying today. I think we'll need a Spanish interpreter. Okay.
Okay.
Have you been able to understand what I'm saying today? Because I have to know that you understand what I'm saying.
No, you don't. No, you
I don't think he did.
I need.
I think he's gonna
Okay.
need it passed.
All right, Mr. Perez, we're going to bring you back tomorrow and reschedule for tomorrow so that we can have an interpreter here with you. Okay.
All right, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. And so deputies, that still leaves me with 6 people that I either need a status on or need to see them or reschedule on those.
You said 6, Your Honor?
Yes, I still got 6 people here.
The deputies are already gone down to the housing unit to bring some of them up.
I'm gonna remember if I call the cable company ever, Jonathan. Judge, hurry the fuck up. I'm getting sick of this. Your lackadaisical
Okay, I'll be back.
management. Sure.
Possibly.
Okay, get them. Okay, thanks. I'll be ready when they get them. Okay, thanks.
Look at the size of her tits. T-Rex always does remember. Like I said, I met T-Rex in Houston. Oh, it was very hot. Let's just say that. The hot weather affects me. The fuck? Why are these people taking so long? Hold on. There we go. Oh, there we go.
Kobe Grayer. All right. Mr. Grayer, you have got 3 charges. These are all 3 felonies. The first charge is aggravated battery. That bond amount is going to be $10,000. The second charge is riot in a penal institution. That bond is also going to be $10,000. And the third charge is assailing, opposing, or resisting an officer in a penal institution, and that bond's going to be $5,000. So when we add all those up, your total bond is $25,000. That comes with a special condition that if you are able to bond out, then while out on bond, you would have to stay away from the alleged victim of the battery, who is Miguel Carter. I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for you to take place on October the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And those hearings are held over the computer, just like this one. And would you like to apply for a public defender to represent you on these new charges?
Yes, sir.
All right. And based on your incarceration, I'm going to find that you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and I will put that order in this morning appointing somebody to represent you. All right. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Antonio Carter has been sent to prison.
Carter, he's been sent to prison. Okay. Let me note that here.
Oh, that's serious. Send him to prison.
Right.
I wonder how much we have to. Here's the
Kwame
thing. We are
Russell.
nearing. Hold on, Judge.
Okay.
Judge. Judge. Speaking. Thank you. We are coming to the end of our evening. We're all over 3 hours now. We are gonna finish up a little bit of this. When they get somebody in here, fuck sakes. Jesus Christ. I do want you guys, I don't know if people in court are still going live right now, but make sure you go over there and say hello for me. Another great channel. She's growing so fast. I'm so proud of her. So make sure that you go and give her love. Let's finish off with this lady and then we'll see what happens.
Tell you about your rights. You have the right to remain silent. This is a public hearing. It is recorded and streamed live to YouTube. Therefore, do not attempt to tell me any specifics about your case or give me any personal details that I do not ask you for. During this and all other proceedings, you are presumed to be innocent of all charges until the state proves you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to an indictment by a grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and a public trial by a jury. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, and you have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to testify on your own behalf and offer other evidence in your own defense. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. If you are not a United States citizen, some charges may adversely affect your immigration status, and you would need to consult with an attorney if you have questions about immigration. Now I'm going to talk about bonds. Some of you will be allowed to post bonds for your release from jail pending the prosecution of your case. The amount of do not of at least 3 times that you may send through them. Please allow you in place.
Sorry, I'm skipping this little chat he's got down here because we've all heard it. Maybe they haven't, but we've heard it.
You're also not allowed. Some of you are charged with offenses for
No, we don't want some. We want her. She's the
your
last
probation
one.
officer has
I want to know
whether there's enough state court would schedule your next hearing there. If we schedule your preliminary hearing, then your case would not be transferred to state court until after that preliminary hearing. Now I need to swear everyone in. If everyone could please raise your right hand and you can say I do when I finish the oath. Do you swear or affirm that the information you are about to provide to the court, along with any information you provided on your court-appointed attorney application, is true and correct? If so, say I do.
I do.
Okay. All right. Deputies, if I could have Mr. Awad first.
This bitch started over. We done. We're not watching this again, y'all. What the fuck? Anyways, listen, we're stopping. I don't understand. We're done. The computer's not listening to me. This is not happening. We are not going back to the beginning. I remember this. Then we just had a discussion about how it was his brother, but it wasn't his brother. All these fucking things. We're not doing it again. I love you guys. Seriously. I love you so much. Thank you, T-Rex. Non-existent competition. I love you all so much. Remember, I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'll see you tomorrow. We have lots more to watch tomorrow. We're not going to talk about civil asset forfeiture except to say that we'll talk about that tomorrow, T-Rex. I need to give it its worth, and I talked too much about other things tonight. So, come back tomorrow. I love you. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye. A great example of civil asset forfeiture would be Larry Beaver being seized after my YouTube assets were forfeited. Bye.